In short answers, we ask 2 short questions and provide 2 short answers on a particular topic. And this topic in the video is on business objectives. Here's the first question. What is the difference between sales maximization and sales revenue maximization? Well, these are 2 key objectives that businesses might target. Sales maximization is when a business supplies the biggest output possible, but consistent with having to make at least normal profit, the minimum profit required to stay in an industry. So sales maximization happens at an output where average revenue equals average cost, or the price per unit, the demand curve, intersects with a unit cost curve. Slightly different objective with sales revenue maximization. The business is trying to make the highest total revenue it can, and that is at an output where the marginal revenue is 0. Marginal revenue is the change in total revenue from selling 1 extra unit. Now, marginal revenue is 0 at the midpoint, halfway point of a linear demand curve. It's also where the elasticity of demand has a coefficient of 1, or unity. And here's our related second question. Explain how a decision by a business to maximize sales revenue rather than maximize profits could affect producer and consumer welfare. So we know that sales revenue is maximized when marginal revenue is 0. In contrast, profits are maximized when the marginal revenue equates with marginal cost. Now, we tend to find that those different objectives leads to a different price and output. Revenues are maximized at a bigger output and a lower price than profit maximization. So that's clearly going to have an effect on producer and consumer welfare. We'll show in a second that consumer surplus is bigger and producer surplus is lower when you maximize revenue instead of profit. And overall, probably welfare is likely to be higher. Here's the diagram. Downward sloping average and marginal revenue curve. Our first output is where revenue is maximized. Down here, marginal revenue is 0. That gives a price of P1. The firm is making profit, but the key area is the maximum total revenue the firm can make. If a firm instead was to maximize profits, then the output would be lower, a lower level of output. Let me show that for you. Q2, where MR meets MC, gives this output here. Q2, of course, the price is higher at P2. So maximizing revenue gives you a bigger output and a lower price. So clearly this area here would be the increase in consumer surplus caused by that decision. There will be a net loss of producer surplus. So total profit has come down in that situation. So that's the short answer to 2 short questions on business objectives.